Why, God? Why? Why don't you give us some cool shit? I'm not talking about the cars, the gadgets, or the technology of our time. No, God. Why don't you give us some abilities? I'm not talking about the psychic abilities. I'm not talking about intuition. I'm not talking about downloads from you. I'm not talking about a connection from you, though. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about where you just send in energy and attract things. No. Why, God? Why can't you give us the cool ability to freaking fly and the ability to shoot beams out from our hands or something cool, man, or like freaking shadow clone ourselves. We just clone ourselves so we can just get enough rest, do things, and then come back and from a great day, man. But no, you don't let us do that because we're restricted and limited from the things that we can't even do in the paranormal activities. Why can't the thing that I want happen the most in my life is just to fantasize about the angels and the four horsemen and just talk to the four horsemen and say, hey, death, how you doing? And war, come on, man, like let's go. And then you start opening the gate to hell, or you relive your past and time again, and you be like, man, I'm fucked, and you be like, and then be like, God, no, I don't want to live this timeline again. Now I'm talking about probably like, what the hell is he on? No, okay, the only reason why I get to play with imagination, and let's talk about this. I was watching a video on what if the Earth, the gravity is 10 times stronger than Earth, and then this popped up, right? This image that I have now, right? Roberto Blake noted this. He talked about that in his interviews. It's called the hyperbolic time chamber, and I want that. Like, I really want that in our goddamn dimensions. Alright, so why am I so happy? I want this in my life. Well, there's like, if you imagine, if you can just stop getting distracted by all these cool things that people do, right? And then you could just become the greatest genius of all your life. You could just become the genius, the expert, the building a skill set. It's so cool. But yet, like, anyway, I'm getting off topic because I'm screaming, yelling all the time. So, this idea is Japanese version. Okay, Dragon Ball Z. It's in Dragon Ball Z universe. Japanese version is a place to locate it's in the lookout. 1 year inside the chamber is the equivalent to 1 day on the outside. Allows for someone to enter the hyperbolic time chamber to get 1 year worth of intense training in a single day. Now, most people think that, Johnny, why are you even fantasize and imagine about this? Because it's cool! To me, anyway. I mean, to people, their coolness is in nature. Their coolness is, doing extroverted things. Mine is in my mind and my imagination. Because, think about this. My imagination is wild, man. It's wild. I'll take you in there. Alright? So I disappear from the world, right? And you never see me again. Most of my friends will never see me again. But I do this in real life. I disappear from the world. Not because in order to do great work, you need isolation, solitude, and you need to disappear from the world for a lot. Patrick, Big David, an entrepreneur. People talk about this. What was his name? Robin Sharma. He talked about this too. Like, the greatest people in our life, the elites, even Albert Einstein, they seclude themselves and they become the genius because what's in their mind they like better than what they associates outside. Like, you can do all the cool things, but what if the cool things that if you're willing to put forth the effort to become an expert in your life or to become the genius, what if the cool thing that you're doing now to prepare that the coolest, greatest thing that you could accomplish if you just focus, right? Like, if I would have focused, I would have do more cooler things in my life. But okay, let's talk about this. So my imagination will take me for, so in the hyperbolic chamber in my imagination, if I just go in there, for me, what I do is not sexy to the average person. It's that's like, it's not pretty because they like the shiny objects, and they hop from place to place, and they don't do anything awesome in their life, because that's not what most people do. The average person chase things and other distraction of their life. If they what Okay, what does this have to do with your life? Well, either you're an entrepreneur, you're a parent trying to build a business, or you're an author trying to create another book. You need focus in your life. You need to take time off for yourself to be able to produce something great of value, because no greater skill set, no greater value. If you're always distracted, if you're always losing focus off the things, if you're always losing that, think about this. What if you can become more valuable to yourself? Not only to yourself, but to someone else, to change. Like, I wish that if I was become more valuable and have a greater impact, I would work on myself every single day of my life. Well, actually, I did that already back in my past, right? I, I will tell you the truth. I disappeared from the world for 7 years. Well, not 7 years. Technically, maybe six, between 5 or 6 years, I disappeared in the world in order to do great work. Because I've been trying to do great work. I've been trying to become good at what to do. Bob Proctor talked about this. He's like, the law of compensation. He said, your ability to do it, and your ability, what was it? Can you be good at it? And your ability to, it's your heart to be replaced. Nobody can replace you. Not the machine, not the AIs, and nobody could replace you, right? And because you have put in the work on yourself. Now I look at both ways. You can, going out to nature is good and make you joy, and then but you need to come back to do great work. Most people, they have, look. I sometimes lose focus because attention like freaking um distract me, right? The videos or whatever. But in order for me to do great work, I need to focus on reading. Or see, the thing is, you don't have to read. You can just watch a video, audio, or podcast or interviews. I don't care. However you learn, that's how you become great. So, so most of people look in the expert of the world, or the great people who are playing the greatest musician, the pianist, or the chess player. They're really good, and the kung fu masters, the martial artists, every the graphic novels, the mangaka, or the greatest artists. They have focus, deep focus, and that's why they can become more valuable to you and I. Like, every martial artist has the ability to do a form, and they have the ability to focus, right? They punch. A punch is not a punch. A punch is, they're focusing. Like, it become like a second nature to them. It's hard wiring. Every time, to become really good at what you do, you need to practice. They call it deep practice. I love a book called The Talent Overrated, or The Talent Code. There's something in your brain that when you create new neural pathways, and if you keep practicing it, and just practice a little bit harder than you were before yesterday, it rewires your brain, and there's a net worth to make it the speed to go faster. I forgot what's it called, the myelin. You probably know what it is. Myelin, whatever. It's a speed to connect with the neuron faster, a speed that sonic signal, because all the neurons are just information network, right? But if you have the ability to do that, like, would you? I remember when I was practicing the, I guess, computer typing skills. I didn't have that ability before. I can't. When I was a kid, I was trying to do the pecking method, right? And I wouldn't be able to do that. And what happened is, I was struggling, because when you peck and type, that's not a skill set. It's not, you thought that you would type it faster than most people. But if you learn how to type, and then unconsciously you can type without looking. I did that. It was fun as shit when I was like, oh shit, I can type without looking. But it was now my brain, group of cells, neurons that are wired to do that without looking at the keyboard, because most people would look at the keyboard. I don't have to look at the keyboard. That's the skill set. Because for me, when I was practicing the typing skill, I was doing it just out of reach. Like it was so hard to type. I just keep pushing my hands, my mind. It had the combination of your mind and your body, and when you push just enough with your hands, the brain somehow just automatically just like freaking like you know what to do. You don't have to, because I remember when I was typing, I was I was thinking, how can I just practice finger to go to this type of letter, and I would press that thumb. Let's say an index, I would go to, like, I can't remember. Just go from I. I would go to that I, or I would practice. I would practice my hand from A or whatever, and then I keep doing it over and over, and just a little bit harder on that. And what happened is it's rewiring my brain. So I have two books in front of me, but I will talk about the awesome hyperbolic chamber too. This two book that I have in front of me that could help you in your life. You need to be more focused on what is you're trying to do and impact in the world to change something in your life that you need to do for yourself or for your family. I know that this is good for an entrepreneur or parent, um, and for themselves if they want. I mean, if they hate not being a genius and watching everybody else become geniuses, or watching people who are the actor, the stars, are geniuses, then they are forgetting that they can become too a geniuses just to develop that. Like Jackie Chan never was the geniuses. He practices, and now it's hardwired in his brain. He never had that skill set, but every skill set, as Brian Tracy said, that everything that you want to learn is learnable. That if the universe is malleable, right, it can change. Evolution. So why can't you, right? Your brain, neuroplasticity, your brain is physically changing when you change um, the way you do things. Uh, when you change, it disrupts a memory, but your when you change, everything changes for you. Your perception changes, the way that you look out into the world changes. So I have a book from called Deep Work by Cal Newport. He have another book called So Good That They Can't Ignore You. Now, I have a biography of Steve Jobs, and this biography said Jobs' intensity was so evident in his ability to focus. He would set priorities, aim his laser attention on them, and filter out distraction. If something engaged him, the user interface for original Macintosh, the design of the iPod, the iPhone, getting music companies into the iTunes store, he was relentless. But if he did not want to deal with something, a legal annoyance, a business issue, his career diagnosis, if family talk, he would ignore it. That focus allowed him to say no. He got Apple back on track by cutting all the except a few core products. He made device simpler by limiting buttons, software simpler by limiting features, and interface simply by the eliminations option. He attribute his ability to focus and his love of simplicity to his training. Zen training. It's honed his appreciation for intuition, showing him how to filter out anything that was distraction or unnecessary, and nurture in him an artistic based on minimalism. Now, for me, if you want to do great work, you have to, like, it's cool that we have the technology, Facebook app, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. For me, it allowed me to connect with CEOs, or authors, or best-selling author, or top of their expert. Dude, that never happens in like 1990, right? Or never mind, that was the day when I was born. But it never happened like that. So I'm grateful for that. But the problem is we're distracting. Like the average person is distracting their they're using their phone to distract them from their great work or their life purpose, their missions, or whatever that shit is, right? And they always complain that, oh, how I wish I did have done that. Well, you do it now. Well, you do it today. I don't care what it is. The things, most people in the law of attraction want it easy. But the greater things in life never happen easy, right? The only reason why I always talk about, because I wanted to change things in the law of attraction. So if I'm going to do it and nobody else is going to do it because they're scared, right? They're not going to stand up to, like, I see it. If I keep focusing on the things that I can do for myself, if you can become just more valuable to yourself, and then you can become more valuable to your family, to the world, right? For me, I want to change the world. That's how I see it, right? I want to change things a little bit. And the only thing that I can do is focus on the things that I can do. And that's the things that I can do is studying and an idea into the world. Because nobody's gonna do that. Nobody don't like reading because people bash on reading a lot. But they don't have time, right? They're busy. But they're researching on something that they love, but not trying to solve a problem. Because I'm here to solve a problem in the community of the law of attraction. Because they're always trying to things easy, right? Because people say it's not about working harder. Most people, I say, when you work just hard enough on something that it's important and is very valuable, and that in turn, people will come to you if you give it enough time to grow your top, because you do need time to become the geniuses, to become the expert. I'm not a genius, to tell you the truth. Like, I mean, I wish I knew this back then, but I'm not a genius, right? I mean, there are people who are geniuses in what they do, and I'm pretty mostly useless in stuff that most I can't even do. There are things that other people can do that I can't do. But what I can do is to give you an idea and to disrupt an idea that people have, right? Because people are afraid to go out of line a little bit. I'm afraid. Like, I'm afraid to go out of line in the law of attraction because I know who's watching me, right? Because I know that Bob Doy is watching my videos, and I know that Michael Lozier is watching my video, and I know that a lot of people is watching my video. So it's scary, right? Because you have all these experts who have gone before you, who know the road ahead, and sometimes I get scared but the thing is, I know that I could change because I see that it's already changing a little bit in the law of attraction or the expert, because they can see that. They'd be like, how are he doing this? They'd be like, but the thing is, because I give value. But that's how it make me happy that that I can see that it's changing. But it's not enough for me, because I don't want to always to talk about the same thing as the law of attraction, because they already know it. You need something new in your life. Nothing changes until you see something new and something to disrupt that. So the deep work is the ability for anyone to look and move ahead in a globally competitive information. In order to change, you need time. In order to become the genius, I say that time, right? So the deep hypothesis, the ability to perform deep work, is to become incredibly rare, and exactly at the same time, it's becoming increasingly valuable in our economy. The few who cultivate the skill and then who, in the core of their work life, will thrive. Two core ability for thriving in the new economy: the ability to quickly master hard things, to produce at a elite level in the term of both quality and speed. So when we look at the great people, I guess they have the ability to focus, to go at the top. They need to become the geniuses. Like, we all become genius. We can. And so this book also talk about the deep work. Talk about, now, anybody who know Bill Gates, he's still the richest man. Bill Gates, Microsoft CEO Bill Gates, famously conducted Think Week twice a year, which he would isolate himself often in a lakeside. I can't even read that. Whatever. Lakeside to do nothing but read and think big thoughts. He once explained the omission that if I organize my life on just a way that I can get lots of long, consecutively uninterrupted time chunk, I can write novels. So I remember back in boarding school, and so I think it's very different how I experienced boarding school than how I experienced middle and high school. I guess people thought I was cool in high school, but never mind. That's all the places, right? I mean, I was a clown for God's sake, but that's beside the point. Even maybe it's internally that I thought I was stupid, or pressure, or whatever. Maybe people think I was. Maybe that. Maybe they. But the thing is, in boarding school, I guess because I had a lot of pressure, I wanted to go home because to tell you the truth, I actually wanted to go home. I didn't want to stay in boarding school, but I got comfortable and I stayed there because my friends. I didn't want it to go because I connected with cool friends, and I fell in love in that place. Um, I mean, I fell in love with that place, but I fell in love with a girl, so I didn't want it to go. Now that's a little bit hard, um, and to grab the. But the thing is, when I was in boarding school, the whole scenario, right? I was in computer class, and that's what I got certificate in. And people were always coming to me for help because I know what to do. And I was like, Albert, would you read this? And I would, try to help them because I know a little bit a road ahead. Um, and but the point is, you need to be able to focus to become geniuses. I mean, if I didn't focus, let's say if I didn't focus, right? I didn't focus on developing my typing skill. I wouldn't have my typing skill, and I wouldn't be able to type without looking. That's the only thing that I can give you. Let me see. Okay, so I already got everything. Okay, so my imagination for the hyperbolic chamber, right? The hyperbolic chamber, if I can just go in there, the dimension, and I come out, would it be a different version, right? And to be honest, I would disappear from the world, from Facebook. My friend always complained about that. So, Johnny, where are you? And the thing is, because I was working on myself. Now, people probably, my friends, like, damn, man, he's so different from, like, 5 years from now, and who else? Because it took, like, I was in a incubation period, a isolation, a seclusion, because I hear all, John Ko, he would seclude himself. I think Robin Sharma, he secluded himself to become the geniuses. Um, and what was it? Who was it? Uh, Brandon Bouchard, he take time to do this research. All great people take time to do the work, to create great work. In order to create great work, is to take time off yourself. Like, people always want the cutting edge, right? You want to become on the cutting edge of knowledge, the skills that you can have, or you become so valuable in the eyes of the public eye. Man, nothing can get past you. Like, even if they're in the law of attraction community and they only know about the law of attraction community, that's what they're only gonna know, and they won't move ahead unless they develop a skill set that is so valuable to the marketplace, because the marketplace get to decide. I see that the marketplace, like, we're in a place where you put your ideas, knowledge out there, and see what happens, see what change. What changes is that you are valuable to someone else, to somebody, because you did the work, nobody else. And that's why I bring you to. But I just let's imagine I just came out from the hyperbolic chamber, man. God, man, I read all the books that I can. I read the old books. I'm just kidding, but that's the idea about the hyperbolic chamber. You need, like, the hyper, like, in there, and if you were go into the hyperbolic chamber, what would you do? What would you do in that time? Would you develop, what skill would you develop? The piano skill, the skill that would get you far in life, the business skills, the money skills, the mindset, um, the martial arts skills, the kung fu, or anybody can develop kung fu. That's what it's about in this whole talk. Kung fu, meaning that anybody can have kung fu. Roberto Blake has kung fu. Lennon Arnold has kung fu in his expertise. Uh, Ross Smart has kung fu. Anybody have kung fu, not just the martial arts. Okay, the public speakers, they have kung fu, because they develop that skill set. Because see, the thing is, people who are great, they fail too. They fail most than the average person, because the average person, when they want to play on the field of geniuses or the expert, holy fucking shit, they fail most of the time. Everybody fail. I fail. I fail too. When I try to, holy shit, when I was listening to Evan Carmichael video yesterday, I was like, damn, he failed. I fail too, but shit, failing help you to become geniuses, because that helps you to get closer where you want to go, right? You're almost just a little bit. Like, I failed in typing, right? I failed in typing. And so just a little bit. So that's it. Because I know that people don't want to study, because they rather, socialize and hang out, because that's them. But if they want to get closer to their dreams and whatever they want to do in the future, is now. It's the focus. It's the now. What I do is not sexy, right? I have to do all the research and put the idea out there, because I do book reviews and interviews. And oftentimes when I do interviews, I wanted to study myself, right? Not study myself. I wanted to read books. So when I connect with the person, I can bring in that idea to the table and get the message out there to the audience, their audience, my audience, whatever. Because that's the cutting edge, right? You want to be in the cutting edge of knowledge, and not because when everybody in your niche, like law of attraction, they say the same thing, but you just like it. But the thing is, you need something to hit in what they know, because they think they know about everything in the law of attraction community. They think they know, but what happens is when they think they know everything, they don't want to learn anything else. That's what happens when people get trapped. That I call it the law of attraction trap, because it's a trap. Like, it's great to know all the universal laws, but what's greater is to become so valuable into the law of attraction community, so valuable to even the best-selling author, and helping that it's also helping them out, or helping other influencer out. That is the greatest thing that I want to do. I want to put my out there. But that's pretty much it. See you guys next time, and I'm gonna go into the hyperbolic chamber and just read and just do martial arts things and focus. That's all I need to do. Focus, deep work. Deep work is good. I'll see you guys next time. If you want to become great, focus.